Wow. This is something else. I gotta be honest, I feel almost bad even recording something right now. It feels irreverent. I'll bet you can guess where I am. I'm at the 9/11 memorial. And this is something else. Nothing else that we've seen comes close. Not in the same way. This is so quiet. There's the white noise of falling water, but other than that, my own is the only voice I can hear right now. Part of why I'm kind of walking off to the side, because I feel irreverent doing this. I see my camera freezing, I don't care. You're getting my real reactions. I'm not doing multiple takes on this. It's never hit home before. I never really realized what happened. But there's these markers all around the pools. And they're covered in names. So many names. So many names. So many people. Why? Why did this happen? I always knew it was tragic. I never... Why? What good does this violence bring to anyone? What can this earn you? What's the point? It's so quiet. No one speaks. I feel like I'm in a different city. No one's making noise. No one's doing anything. I haven't heard a horn the whole time I've been here. There's just the water. It's just the water. There's so many people. So many. I met a man who is taking a rubbing of a few names. 10 names. 10 high school kids. Children, really. Killed. Because they were standing here in the wrong place at the wrong time. He's in contact with the high school they went to, and apparently has got them... is working to set up a... what would be the word? A scholarship in honor of these guys. And he's taking a rubbing of their names from the memorial. And is going to send them to the high school president. Which is really cool. He told me a bit about his story and how he knew these kids. They're not just names, are they? They're all people. They're all real people, and it's hard to remember sometimes that these people had their own stories, their own life, their own adventure, their own goals, their own dreams. And it's gone. This is a highlight. And simultaneously a lowlight. Saddest moment of the trip, but also not something I'm going to forget. Yeah. Wow. I look at some of these buildings around, and I just... You can't begin to picture it. It's so surreal. It's so impossible. It's impossible. Yet here we are. I wish I could get in here. Museum. The memorial. But I can't. It's closed on Tuesdays, which I failed to realize. And, well, we leave 8 in the morning tomorrow for Toronto. So if I want to get inside this thing, I'm going to have to come back to New York another time. Which is a shame. An ambulance drove by, its lights flashing. The amount of glass in the space, his lights reflected throughout a lot of this area. Can't begin to imagine it. It's hauntingly beautiful. It is disturbingly serene. I don't know what to say. I don't have words for this thing. But it starts to really ring true why New Yorkers care about this one so much. It's that big. So here's something. This is the start of the World Trade Center. There's dividers for finding people, what they served with, who they're from, where they were. And this is the beginning of World Trade Center. And it goes all the way around. It started somewhere over there. Half of this is for the tower itself. And the other half is for the planes and all the people who helped first responders and such. There's so many. It's wild. Well, I'm gonna get out of here. James Raymond Coyle. Never met you. Never heard of you before today. I've truly no idea what your story was, what you wanted out of life, who grieved for you. But I wish I could tell you that there's someone out there who still remembers you, still wants to honor you and your classmates. I hope one day I can meet you and tell you that face to face. It's not a name I'm gonna forget anytime soon. Well, last day in New York. Tomorrow morning we wake up bright and early and we take off for Toronto. Should be pretty cool. Yeah. Thinking back on what I've recorded today, because it's been a little all over the place. The 9/11 memorial was definitely a highlight. That was really unsettling, but really cool. I don't know, I can't find the word for it. It was haunting in a lot of ways. Yeah, in the morning we went to HB Studios and we got to sit in on basically an acting coaching class. HB Studios, for those not in the know, is the school where Uta Hagen taught at, which, for 2 days in a row, if you're in theater, that name means something to you. If you're not, that you have no idea who that is. Excuse me. Yeah. was kind of cool. It felt very similar to a lot of things we had been learning already. I don't feel like I got any deep insight from it, but it was a good time. Our leader was honestly really nice. She started out by doing a little game just to get everyone in the room. And when she found out that our group had to leave before the class was over, she was really upset because she didn't know that, and she'd really wanted to play some games with us, so she was cool. I liked her. We just finished up at the Second City Revue, which was hilarious. It's a comedy club, lot of improv stuff. Yeah, they did a lot of sketch comedy stuff that they'd clearly pre-planned, but in their third act, they called it, it was all improv. So you'd shout out something from the audience, and they have to find a way to work with it. It was fun. It was funny. It's something I'd love to get involved in. Improv scares me a little bit, but I'm learning what I'm doing, and it was fun to look for things that I know to do. Like in improv, one of the first things you do is, when you start a scene, establish your characters, who you are, your relationship to each other, your location, and give something to discuss. In loose writer terms, I'd say establish your conflict, but it doesn't have to be an actual conflict. Just give yourself something to deal with. Yeah, it was fun watching them seem like effortlessly put all those things into play. They were clearly professionals at what they do. Yeah, it was a really good time. Yeah. Improv is a thing that like I said, I'm a little scared of, but if I could get into it more, I think I would. Because it is fun. And when you're with practice, it's something that can be quite enjoyable. And what they did tonight was partly improv, partly just pre-done stuff. So honestly, this would be a great place for me. Yeah, standout moments. Poor Gerald. One of the first bits that they did was two people are going to see a movie. They go over to the left side of the audience, sit down and talk to a guy in this, because the audience is divided into three columns kind of on the ground floor. You go over to the left column, talk to a guy in the center. What's your name? What's your story? Yada, yada, yada. Hey, thanks. All right, we're going to go find better seats for this movie. They go to the center. They talk to a guy. This was Gerard. Talk to him, get his story. And then they go over to the right side. Really funny. They sit down. They're like, hey, what's your name? The guy says his name, and they just look at each other and go back to the center. It was hilarious. Yeah, but they grilled Gerard for quite a while, getting as much info from him as they could. And in the second act, they came out on stage and improvised a day in his life. The poor guy. It was so bad. Well, no, it was well done, but it was kind of embarrassing. Another standout moment was definitely, they did a film noir kind of crime thing. So they had a guy on stage miming that he's on a typewriter, and they pick someone out of the audience, they give him a hat, and then they tell him to go around the room solving the crime, and they put audience members all through the space, cast members all through the space. It was ridiculous, but it was funny. Yeah. Got my package sent. It is hopefully on the way. I'm really hoping it makes it. But yeah, I don't know why it was really stressful for me, but it was. I think I was worried about some of the practicalities of it, like I needed a scale because you need to know the weight of everything you're shipping. Turns out you didn't, you just needed the total weight of the parcel, so cheers for that, USPS. Yeah, I had to refill out the customs form like 3 times because they kept telling me, okay, no, this isn't great, this isn't a thing. For example, at window A, general information, I go up and I'm like, hey, I need a customs form, I'm gonna go fill it out and then I'll be back with a package. Cool beans. I'm staying in a hostel. I live in Canada. What can I put down as a return address? And they're like, oh, just put down an address in Canada. It happens. It's fine. We'll make it work. I put down my parents' address. Mail will go there if it can't get to me. I bring the parcel up to the counter. No, we can't do this. It has to be an American location. I'm like, okay, well, I'm staying in a hostel. What do I do? And they're like, put down the hostel. I'm like, if it doesn't deliver, then what? And yeah, so if it doesn't deliver, it's going to be lost in the States for all eternity, and I will be a very sad human being. But anyway, that's the daily update. Yeah. I'm going to head home, pack up my stuff, early departure for Toronto in the morning, and we'll see what happens there. Yeah. Have a great night.